I think that
We are live.
yeah, that's right. I think this morning has been for me. I woke up and noticed that I was like, oh, great, it's gonna be one of those days. um,
I thought that last night.
yeah,
Not that today was going to be one of those days, but it's going to be one of those weeks.
yeah. See, I refuse to give it a whole week. I refuse to think that like the whole week
Yeah,
should be such.
that is defeatist talk. Shouldn't think that way. No. It's going to be a great day. Come on in, everybody. We see you out there in the hallway. Come on in. There's coffee in the back of the room. There might even be some refreshments.
Let's see here. I have
Don't be shy. We only bite a little bit. Come on in. Hit that like button. The chat is open.
Yeah, and got a really good question from anybody radio we're talking about this morning. We're gonna talk about yeah, I can't wait to get into it. Kind of wish Daphne was here for this one, but this is it's gonna be a good one.
Daphne won't be joining us today because she's decided to kill her router.
Yeah, her internet is giving her problems. I don't know if you caught Geekgasm last night, you would have seen her popping in and out because that's the way cable companies do. We pay them and they provide a substandard service.
I think she's taken the sword out from over top of the mantle and is screaming, "Die, die, die," as we speak.
Yeah, there's
Daphne, do we have something we want to add to this?
Yeah. Could be.
Yeah. She probably it's weird. I think the more I pay for my cable, the more I pay for my internet, the worse it gets. As a matter of fact, I've got several routers in the house now. Well, not several, but yeah, that's 2 routers in the house now. But one is a really expensive one because it's supposed to, expand the internet all over the house. It's supposed to basically coat the house in Wi-Fi.
The safe, warm blanket of Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and it's got like 3 different connection points on it. Then Comcast brought one out that gives me more connection points and also makes me a hotspot for their network. But the thing is, at about 11 o'clock, the Wi-Fi, you can't get it in my bedroom. And only in my bedroom. It's like, well, what's going on? But yeah, it's sucky.
Could it be the lead paint in your walls?
Who knows?
I don't know. I had a router down here next to me in the basement. We had shitty Wi-Fi service. Absolutely shitty. And we couldn't figure out what to do. We switched cable companies and had the router down here. Still couldn't figure out what to do. I've got a direct line here, which is why the internet works real well. I got a Ethernet or whatever they call line into right into the computer. Well, the next guy comes out. We switched cable services again. The next guy comes out and he looks at the basement. And I got this great big furnace vent sitting here up above my head. He looked up at that and says, "Hey, you know what? This and the lead paint in your walls might be blocking the signal."
Yeah.
So they moved the router up to the living room, and we got Wi-Fi all over the house now.
There was a issue with my mother's Wi-Fi a long time ago. In her bedroom, I noticed she could never get Wi-Fi in her bedroom. And no matter, and even when she moved to an apartment, the Wi-Fi would just not. It would just travel around her bedroom. Well, when she moved in with me, that's when I had enough of it. I was like, wait, is this happening again? This is impossible. And I discovered that it was her furniture. It was her bedroom furniture.
Was it really?
Yeah, it had all these brass and copper fittings.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just repelling the internet out of that room. So
bouncing that signal all over the place.
Yeah. Hey, Comic Book Black Belt in the chat. Good morning.
Should we send you a link, Russ? We can do that.
We'll have Marv join us soon as well. I guess we should hit the intro and get to it, huh?
No, give me a second here to find Comic Book Black Belt. There we go. just in case he wants to join us. I still want to run that opening, dude. You don't know how bad I want to run that opening.
Let's see here. I've got, oh, okay. I got my.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Drop the taco. Get in the car.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
Hello. There we go. Nice and pretty.
What is up?
Hello, everyone. Hello. Nita Lanning in the chat.
Let me fix that. There we go. Oh, not Nita in the chat. Nita's always welcome in the chat.
Yeah, just good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Nita. Phil Minix. Hey, yo.
Phil
Hey,
Minix.
hello, Phil.
Good morning, Phil.
And, oh, my goodness. Randy,
Sir.
last night at midnight, Indie Volt dropped 3 new shirt designs.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, 3 new t-shirt designs. I'm going to show them off. Right now. That's what I'm going to do. Give me 1 second here. I think
We just want to point out to everybody we are TVMA DLSV,
oh yeah.
where the V stands for variant and the S stands for shirts.
So you can get the Hail Ho shirt, which Lola's been modeling off for a couple days now. She's got a couple, but
Which looks really good in black.
yeah. But so we got 3 new shirt designs. We got the Big Indie Energy shirt.
And look, Indie spelled correctly. Anyway.
Yeah, it's Big Indie Energy. We got that one. We got the special Mike Oden tee. The thing is, at the end of the day, the special Oden shirt, very limited edition, by the way. Some of these shirts won't last.
Incredibly limited.
And then the safe. Resist mainstream comics, serve on the effing education. We got that shirt as well on the site. If you want to support Indie Volt, buying those shirts is the way to do it. That way you support us, you get something. You get something in return. And
you help Varian afford his bandwidth. We broke that ceiling on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's to the point where I'm thinking I'm gonna, I thought about it the other day. I said, "Oh, I should start my own server farm."
You felt that coming in the email?
Well,
Mr. Grant.
I thought
Grant, you owe us money, Mr. Grant.
I thought I should start my own server farm, and I could save money in the long run. And then the wife was like, "No," and I'm like, "Why not?" Just, no, you can't do it.
Your house is too small for a server farm.
I don't know, man. The problem is I need to keep it air conditioned. Like,
yeah,
I need to keep. Well, not technically. I mean, I could turn a desktop.
And you don't want to put that in the warehouse either, or that'll eat up most of your room. That's not good either.
Yeah. I thought it'd be kind of a good idea to. Well, keep in mind it'd be one system, not a big farm. It'd be one system of my own.
Oh, okay. You'd still need a server tower, and
yeah,
if you were, depending upon how paranoid you were, perhaps a Faraday cage in order to keep it protected.
I'm very paranoid when it comes to technology. But yeah, if you guys are looking, indievolt.com, click on Volt Shop on the page. It'll take you to the Indie Volt store. I'll put the link in the description as well. And if you go to the Indie Volt Facebook, those shirts are there, direct links to them. You can check it out. If you want to purchase one of those shirts, it would help us out a whole lot.
Philion says, "Oh yeah."
Yay, Phil. Yeah, that was yeah.
If you haven't yet, make sure you go over to YouTube and subscribe to the Indie Volt channel.
That's right. It's
looking forward to the day where I get to read super chats and cartoon voices.
I guess we should introduce ourselves. We're at the 10-minute mark, and I haven't. I guess I'll go first.
You're too busy talking about your shirts.
Yeah.
All the wonderfulness.
Those shirts are important.
They are.
Those shirts are very important. I'm gonna do a shirt executive box of $200. How about that? Hello, everybody. My name is Varian Grant. I am the founder of Indie Volt Media LLC. Started making comics back in 2008. I am a comic book artist, publisher, creator, geek gamer, father, occasional actor, retired independent wrestler. Which people told me I need to add that to my list of accomplishments. I'm like, oh, I only wrestled a few matches. That doesn't count, but I don't consider it. But I do remember all the skill sets I learned from that. I remember hurting, and reluctant taxpayer, all that good stuff. Not necessarily in that order. This is good old fashioned indie vote breakfast buzz. I'm joined as always by the comic book historian.
Comic book historian. You're funny.
Randy Zimmerman. Hello, Randy.
I've just been here long enough to live most of it. That's all. Hey, everybody. I'm Randy Zimmerman. I'm a longtime alternative and independent comics creator, publisher, freelancer, everythinger. Worked for a lot of companies, printed under a lot of banners, done a lot of things, and just about everything in the direct market that you can imagine. I'm living here just south of the Safe Water line, just a little ways away from Flint, Michigan, and real happy to be part of Indie Volt this morning. I'm also resurrecting Arrow Comics 4.0, and we're going to start new comics starting up for the direct market beginning in August. Looking forward to that. We just announced an exclusive deal that we signed with Liberty Entertainment Distribution. So for more information on that, check out indievolt.com. and look at Liberty Entertainment distributors over at ledg.us.
And we're joined this morning by Marv V. Hello, Marv.
Marv V.
Hello. Hello. Thank you for having me once again. My name is Marv V. I'm from Portugal. I'm the creator, writer, and artist of the Sin Killer comic book, now on Indiegogo. I'm already at 42% and 10 backers. So thank you very much for the support.
Sweet.
And yeah, sweet. Very nice. It's been crazy. So thank you for having me. Let's talk about comics and have fun. Thank you. And congratulations on the success of the show.
Yeah. Thank you. We appreciate it. It's been so hard.
It's gonna keep steamrolling up from here,
Oh yeah.
It's gonna go. It just gets crazy from this point on.
Yeah.
Comic book black belt in the house. He says Arrow Comics. Yeah.
What was that?
And he says, hey, Marv. Phil says, hey, Marv. Hey.
Everybody.
It's all right, make sure. So yeah, you guys can go over and check those shirts out if you are so inclined. You got a lot of different sizes and they come pretty damn quick. Someone ordered one and they said they got theirs. They ordered it on a Monday, very early Monday morning, and they had it in their hands Thursday. So,
yeah, stupid me. I ordered a shirt off of Facebook.
Oh,
I got to stop doing that shit. I just keep getting hoodwinked every time I order anything off of Facebook. I ordered it in 5X, which I figured would be really floppy because I'm really about a 2, maybe a 3, depending upon the cut of the shirt.
Yeah,
damn thing won't even go around me. It was cut. It must be a large. In size.
What I discovered is first of all, Hot Topic size has been very small, but also
this must have been a dwarf topic sizes.
It's if they're from China, the sizes run extremely small. Yeah. So
well, I didn't know this was coming from China either until they told me how it was shipping.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And XL from China is like our
never
medium.
again.
It's a medium.
Yeah, it's medium.
Yeah.
This is more like a smlarge.
So I got a question here from Indie Vote Radio, and it came in last night, and it was big. But let's see what Pop says. Anyone hear about UPS dropping huge VAT charges on people in the UK? Someone said they got hit with a huge charge and refused the book. Hope it's not going to be a problem for everyone. So you're referring to people getting hit with
well, speaking of people in the UK, here we are with Russ Leach. Russ, how are you?
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you and to Portugal.
Oh yeah.
England calling. Good afternoon, Portugal.
Hello.
Russ, you heard anything about that? UPS.
About what? Yeah, I heard some rumblings last night on the Twitters, there were a few groups that were talking about stuff. I think what it is VAT, value added tax, which is added at our end. So before it can be delivered, people have to pay up. And I suppose if you're sending it via something like I don't know, a courier, then they haven't got the means to get the money.
Yeah.
Whereas with the postage, it can be left at the post office, and you can go down to the post office and pay for it. I don't know the exact details. All I know that it's only one way, so I'm not that bothered.
It says Christine.
It's not your way. It's us going to you, not you going to us.
I mean, it is annoying. I don't want to have to pay any more for books, and I do love all the books that I've been buying. It's not good. It's not a good thing, because at the end of the day, everybody's going to have to pay more if they want a book from the States, and that's terrible because so much great stuff is coming out at the moment. What it means is you'll be more selective about what you buy, which is unfortunate. I mean, you should be selective, but you know what I mean. You're less likely to take a chance. You're more likely to go with a creator that you maybe know a bit more about, and that's a bit sad for those people just sort of starting off. I don't know the exact details, but I do know it's been pulled out of the thin air, as far as I'm aware. I don't see why it should be done either. I'm completely confused as to why it's happened.
He says Christine got hit with a 51 lira surcharge and refused her book.
Oh no. But lira isn't proper money, so
Shots fired. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Russ Leach. Russ, introduce yourself to the radio audience.
Oh, yes, sorry. After abusing the lira.
The lira,
there's no xenophobia here, I promise. I love all humans and all currency. Please, at any time. I'm a comic book artist from the UK. I've been in my third career as a comic strip artist since 2010. I did a whole bunch of other stuff in publishing, design, and all kinds of things before then. I had a different life. In this incarnation, I've been drawing comics. I have had a few graphic novels out, drawn some stuff for Marvel, Doctor Who, Ben 10, bits and pieces like that. And now I'm drawing my own books, and they're out with Arrow soon. So, that's about me. You can come find me as Comic Book Black Belt on YouTube and see my work. There you go.
Very good.
Come see his work. So,
coming soon from Arrow Comics 4.0, starting in August. We'll have Only Death Can Save Us available for the retailers.
I am beavering away currently.
You're what?
There's an international. I'm beavering away. Beavering.
Doesn't mean the same thing over here.
No, I know. But I don't think beaver is one of those words you can't say. So there you go.
Yes. No. There you go.
Because it's a real animal as well. I mean, that would be unfortunate if we cancelled real animals.
Yes, I could do. What's there?
I can't think of a beaver over here that isn't a real animal.
Oh dear, it's the tea.
I wonder what's in that tea.
Tea.
So
tea. All you need is tea.
Yeah,
and love. Tea and love.
So this one comes from Jonathan, and Jonathan writes in from Indie Vote Radio, and he's got a problem I think that we've all kind of faced at one point or another. And he says, "Hey gang, hey gang,
hey gang,
hey gang."
He says, "Having a problem with the ambition of my team. I'm trying to build something great, and it's getting really hard to corral everyone and get them together. A lot of people say they're willing to help. They want to be big in the industry, but when I'm booking tables for shows, they don't show. When I'm trying to put together meetings, they don't show. They make excuses. I'm worried that our comic book endeavor is not going to go anywhere because of the lack of support I am feeling from my team."
Oh, I bet I know. Who was this from?
This is from Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was somebody else.
So what?
I thought maybe you were getting a troll email from somebody who was trying to start another company.
No. I you know what? In all seriousness, I mean, look, Jonathan, I'll tell you, I've felt that way before. The thing is, people can only like you if you're feeling more passionate about it, it's probably because 9 times out of 10, it was your idea and you tried getting people involved. That is going to be hard to try to get people. You can't. It's hard to get people to be invested totally in what you want to do. Now, if it was a group decision and you notice other people are pulling away, you get in situations where people aren't as serious about stuff as they claim to be. I know several people who are actors who are like that. Oh, I'm an actor. No, the only thing they're acting like is that they want to be an actor. That's it. Because when you tell
you're actually a waitress, but you have acting as a hobby.
Yeah. And so, like, hey, show up to this set. We're gonna be filming this, and I've seen people turn down money. One of my booth girls. She does booth girling for me, and she introduced me to a photographer. The photographer told me that he had a young lady. He had scheduled a shoot with her, and he was gonna pay her and everything. And she called him that morning, and she says, "Hey, sorry, I can't show up to the shoot today. My grandmother died last night." And he says, "Oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do to help?" And she said, "Oh no, blah blah blah. Sorry, yeah, we'll reschedule." He says, "Okay, no problem." He went and did some other shooting, and then he
shouldn't say that around here.
Yeah. 2 months later, he puts out another, inquiry for models. She messages him, "Would love to work with you." He books her again. That morning, same thing, calls him, says, "Hey, yeah, my grandmother passed away suddenly last night, so I can't make it." And he's like, "This isn't the same." He's like, "Again?" And she's like, "Wait, is this the other grandma? You poor thing." And she's like, "What?" He says, "You told me that 2 months ago your grandmother passed away, the night before you booked me." "Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't want to come." And he was like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." And she hung up. And it's like, there are people out there who are weird. They just don't have the ambition. They say they do, but they don't.
They want to call themselves the thing, as a title, okay?
Yeah.
But they don't actually want to put the effort in. There's a lot of people like that. You see it a lot in the comic book industry as well, unfortunately, or just generally in creative, jobs, creative roles. I've seen, and so I'm not just poking at the comic book industry. I've been in publishing, I've been in art, I've art directed, I've had my own business. I've seen this stuff happen, again and again and again and again. And unfortunately, in the comic book industry, because it's now become that kind of industry where everybody works from home, pretty much. It's that much easier to call yourself something without the proof. And when I say proof, I'm not just talking about a portfolio. I mean, but a portfolio on its own is not proof. Actually doing the work is proof.
Yeah, seeing the physical books.
Yeah, seeing things happen.
Yeah, yep.
And unfortunately, the harsh reality for those people entering an illustrative or comic book illustration career is that you just have to pull your finger out and get some stuff done. Whatever way you can make it happen, whether you're going on to anthologies, whether you're doing unpaid. I don't agree with unpaid work, okay? But there comes a point where you kind of got to throw your own sweat equity in and prove to people that you can do things. So just the portfolio isn't enough. It's, getting out there and getting getting yourself applied to publications and being printed. And unfortunately, with this, what this has been described by Jonathan, I agree with Varian as well. This is probably your baby, and you may well have other people on board. And to get those people on board, I mean, I don't know for sure, obviously, but to get those people on board, you've either had to pay them or you've had to promise them some kind of return from the project at a later date, because it's not their idea. So they'll have to buy into your idea, especially if they're not getting paid on a pro rata basis.
Yeah.
And so that means that they're not going to be as into it as you are. And if somebody turns up with money, they're going to go for the money. And also, if they're not really prepared to put the effort into a project to make it for themselves, to make it some kind of poster for themselves as creators, then as I was saying earlier, like not putting the effort in, wanting to be called what they are, but not putting the effort in, then they're not going to turn up either. Unfortunately, if you're a creator and if you're a writer and you're getting other people to do the work for you, you probably just have to rely on yourself.
Yeah.
Get the work done, and then you promote yourself.
Yeah.
And I can't think of another way around it, because you can't depend on other people. If other people turn up under their own steam, then you've got people that are good, that are helping you and are kind and all the rest of it, but don't depend on them. Not until you're in a situation where you're paying them salaries and you can fire them. Up until that point, it's a pretty loose affiliation, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So trust yourself.
And even then, when I was putting the newspaper together, I went around and talked to a lot of business owners, because the paper was advertiser supported. We gave it away free to readers, and we had a lot of phenomenal positive response. Yeah, I'm right there. Yeah, I'm right with you. And when it came time to actually do the ads, put them in the paper, and for them to pay for the advertising, I don't really have the money, or my budget is too tight, or come back and ask me in a couple of months, or whatever. Usually about a third of those people actually delivered, and the other 2/3 made their excuses and went on their way.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. I know people just like that right now. Hey, they want to do it, but they will not do what it takes. So when it's like, hey, we got a con to go to. Oh, I can't go to the con. Why not? Well, there's or
my grandma just died.
Yeah, I can't go to the con.
Shouldn't laugh. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't go to the I can't. How many days do I have to be at the show? It's a 3-day show. Oh, I can come for 1 day. Well, and then they come for 1 day and then leave. They leave. They sit for 3 hours and okay, I'm gonna go now. It's like, all right, screw you. So it's really hard to find good people that really want to do this.
To be successful in the creative arts, you have to apply yourself really hard,
and also
harder than a lot of other disciplines, unfortunately.
Yeah. Also, Jonathan, what might really help you out is get an audio subscription, Audible, from audible.com, though they're not a sponsor. They should be. And start looking up How to Win Friends and Influence People by Carnegie. If you haven't read or heard that book in the past, if you're going to lead, you need to know how to lead. And you can't just do it by going, come on, gang, let's go. Well, because it doesn't work that way.
and also, though, keep in mind, there are. I've read that book. I've read the book. I've listened to the audio tape of it as well. I have the CD, but it's like a 3-4 CD.
Did you find it? Did you find it informative though?
I did, but I've seen a lot of people take Carnegie's teachings and turn them for evil.
Well, I've seen that happens with any book. Yeah. I've seen that happen with the Bible or with Ayn Rand's writings.
I got another book.
They take it and just mutate it to their whims.
I've got another book that really went after that book too. They didn't go after it by name, but anyway, yeah. Another one here. Now, this one here,
your managerial skills will come in real handy.
Yeah. Again, look, you're gonna run through all sorts in this business.
All sorts.
just you're gonna run to some artists that hurt you because they're gonna be other talents that just hurt you because they're gonna be so skilled, but they can't get out of their own way, or they're going to be they're going to be they're going like
if you go back if you go back in our archives, in the Indie Vault archives, you'll see all kinds of people. You'll have all sorts of examples that have sprung up, and we've only been doing this for a couple of years. But there are what's his name, Jim Joneses out there. There's Charles Manson's out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's Ernest out there.
There's
a deep cut. There's all sorts of different people. It takes all type in this world, but you really have to be careful and walk that minefield.
As far as the talent is concerned, I've had people who they super talented. They got a spouse that will not let them, or a boyfriend, girlfriend who will just not let them, thrive in this business. So, hey, come to the con. You can't go to that con. You guys stay home with me for 3 days. Oh, I'm sick. Don't leave me here by myself. What day is the con? The con's on the 14th. I'm gonna start getting sick on the 12th. I know someone who does that. Every time there's a con, her belly gets to hurting. She gets to getting sick, and he can't go. The other thing you're gonna have is the artist, the creator who can't get out of their own way. They're taking every bit of advice from all the wrong people. I had a gentleman, very talented young guy. He was on I had finally got him kind of straight in terms of his thinking as an artist. It took one meeting in a parking lot, chance encounter with another publisher that he knew, who said, "Man, you ought to be sending your shit to Image, bro," to fuck that all up. And he, once again, really 8 months of helping this guy undone by a 2-minute talk from an idiot. and he was back on his bullshit, and then came the depression when Image didn't return his calls, and now he's put up his pencils and everything now, and he's just sitting there, art fooey. He was doing well.
We have a culture as well now, where people want it straight away. They don't want to put in years and years and years of effort, which you have to do. I feel sorry. I do feel compassion for younger people wanting to do creative arts as a job, because everybody wants to do it now. But
not only that, but everybody also wants to be a critic when they don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really tough. From my own perspective, I had another life. I did other things, and then I came to comic books late. It's worked for me because when you're older, you can get insurance cheaper and stuff like that. It's built into being older. You've done stuff. You've paid most of your mortgage. All that kind of stuff. It's tough. It really is tough when you're younger. But unfortunately, the only way to make it is to hit your head against that wall again and again and again and again till it breaks. You've got to smash through the wall, and the only way to do that is to create, is to make stuff. And you're absolutely right, Varian. One of those tricks is to have someone who's completely on your side, your family, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever it might be. My wife is 100% behind me, to the point that we downsized our home so that I could do what I love doing. So, it takes a lot of aspect. I mean, we've talked about this before. How do you break into the industry? Everybody's breaking in is a completely different story. It's never the same twice. The only thing that is consistent, apart from the few genius that just turn up, but from art school and just already made, which there are very few of, the one consistent is a lot of hard work and a lot of discipline and a lot of commitment. And if you haven't got those things, or if you don't want to give those things, then back off now, go do something else.
Yeah, commitment and passion is really everything, because I've seen people walk in with that genius level talent and just piss it all away. I have to take this, Varian. I'm sorry.
Ring, ring.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I was gonna tell Randy, I'm getting a bit of breaking news apparently.
Ooh, breaking news.
Yeah, I'm hearing about it. I'm gonna confirm, but there's been some news of Grifter from DC Comics. Character Grifter.
Oh, Grifter. Yeah, I like Grifter.
Yeah. He's been changed for the better, apparently.
What?
He's now flirting with Nightwing.
That was the father-in-law.
Okay. Everything all right?
Yeah, he was just looking for status.
Yeah. Grifter's flirting with Nightwing.
Which one's? Hold on a sec.
Grifter's what?
With the red mask on, came from Wildcats.
He's
what the one with
Nightwing?
the one with the guns?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
He's what with Nightwing?
Flirting.
Oh,
Yeah. He's been.
I just don't understand why. I just don't get it. Maybe I'm just too old.
did you see the quartering video where they were talking about the Supergirl comic?
Oh, with the pimple. Yeah,
where she pops a zit.
Yeah.
That
was.
I mean, that's provides questions of all kinds of bodily fluids and functions.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah,
from anybody who has super at the front of their name. Whatever.
Just not good. There's just some shit that you shouldn't.
I think that I was talking to my son about this earlier. We were talking about manga, and the fact that like there's 4 golfing comics for manga. I don't know who it was that I'm quoting here, but it's basically like there are 4 golfing comics for manga, and it's not vampires on the moon playing golf. No. This is golf. Nothing else. It's like 4 manga comics, and they sell like hotcakes, and that's because manga has this breadth of subject matter and characterization, and I think what's happened with superheroes in general, superheroes stroke science fiction in the US market, is they've tried to get that breadth of slice of life, golf, all kinds of different walks of life into, and they tried to stuff it all into superhero comics instead of making lots of other comics like manga does. And so, but that stuff doesn't work for me. It doesn't work with superhero comics. What you want out of superhero comics is you want fun and action, and a bit of retribution, a big fight between the bad guys and the good guys. That you want fun out of it,
Yeah.
And okay, there'll be some other maybe more adult, deconstructive versions as well. That's fine, but make those comics. There's nothing wrong with having all ages superhero comics and deconstructive adult superhero comics. That's all good. That's great. But if you try and get the breadth that manga has and stick it all into the superhero genre, it's not going to work. It's just there's not enough room in the superhero genre for that. The superhero genre is very much a mythology, and so requires that kind of storytelling. That's just my personal opinion. But that's why manga works, because it's just got this amazing breadth of different subject matter, and they're not trying to cram it into every future tale or every zombie story or every superhero story. They're just telling stories.
This from, I just double checked. I had to verify this was real. I messaged the person who sent it, and they said, yeah, but they would like to go by we're going to call this person Brad, last name Lee. Brad Lee, kind of like Stan Lee.
Brad Lee.
Yeah, I'm going to read this to you guys. I'm going to take out the name because shit.
The names have been changed.
Yes, to protect the guilty. A cad in our midst. Cad. C-A-D. Haven't heard that word.
Not a cat.
Wow. Cad. A few years ago. Oh, by the way, if you have children, cover their ears, turn away. It has some spicy language.
Remember, we're TVMA DLSV.
It's very, very spicy language right now.
Spicy.
Yeah, this is a few years ago. A son of a bitch motherfucker was carrying on very fucking improperly with my wife. But like many other comic artists' wives, she's pretty involved with the little business we're growing based around my art and creations. I found out about it, and after ripping her ass a new fucking one, I vowed to make the 700-mile trip to put my foot oh so deep in his fucking ass. the cowardly C word crawled underneath another skirt and fled the country in fear of me. I'm gonna be professional and not blow up your chat the next time that sea sucker is on your air, but watch your wives, girlfriends around this artist. And that's from Brad Lee. Why is that something that happens in our industry so much?
Are you getting rhetorical here or what?
Like, why can't, like, I mean, I'm married, so I don't look at, I don't
think it happens just in our industry. I think it happens everywhere.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of, let's say in a creative industry, there's a lot of high emotion. People are very needy. I'm just making a vast generalization there, of course. And it does happen, I think. Yeah. I mean, you just beat the living daylights out of him.
No. Am I right? We don't want to wish violence on anybody.
Oh no, not at all. No,
whether they deserve it or not.
Yeah. It's not my choice. That's his choice. I'm just saying, if that's what you want to do, go do it. But it's not for me to say. All I'm saying is, I think a lot of people are quite needy in the industry, and it happens. I don't think it's specific to our industry. I just think it happens.
That's true. It does.
I think any industry that has a high percentage of the equivalent of interns probably has that problem. So I would suggest politics as well might be there.
And I've said this in the past before quite a few times, you really have to consider the context of what's happened in this industry. I mean, 10, 20, 30 years ago, this whole direct market was aimed at a very narrow demographic that was mostly red-blooded male, mostly white, mostly 25 to 55, and that was wrong, but that's what it was. And when Image came up, they took that entire demographic and really exaggerated the fuck out of it and made lots of money because they cashed in on that demographic, and they castrated this market, especially the independents and the alternatives, from a lot of retailer money who realized that's where it was because that's the demographic they were told was the primary comic book buyer. Though they were, at the time, they might have been right for a few years. They were horribly misinformed, and over the years, we've ended up with the market that we've got today. And that ended up with a lot of Beavis and Butthead type situations running through all of the industry. You had people, hardcore nightlives. We had Hart Fisher on Tuesday talking about how great the parties were after the shows. Yeah, and there was a lot of guy level
behavior
and very inappropriate behavior, and what would be considered now to be extremely inappropriate behavior. And that some of us realized that early on and decided that they were happier driving just back and forth from the show and trying to do business. And other people got really entrenched into that party type life. And you had guests that wouldn't show up at shows until noon if they were lucky, because on Sunday, because the partying was so hard. So you have to understand that I'm not saying that was remotely appropriate or acceptable behavior, but that's the context that this industry has sprung from. And that's such a bad angle and such a bad, context, again, that we have to grow out of and grow up from. And we are doing that, and along with the rest of society who's pointing out inappropriate behavior, where you have your Harvey Weinsteins and your Epsteins and all of this crap going on that was totally unacceptable, or lurid, perverted behavior. But we're growing up, thankfully, as a society and as a art form, as an industry. But we do have to keep that in mind, that there was a time at these shows, and we've talked about it on the show before. We were lucky to see a girl at a show at all.
Yeah,
at true. All. And Daphne will definitely tell you how much what it feels like to be a fish out of water in this industry back in the 80s and 90s.
I remember seeing like not seeing that many ladies at shows too, but now it has changed.
Things have shifted really hard. You're seeing a lot more families, a lot more kids, a lot more just all ranges behavior.
Yeah,
and that's great for the industry. Like what Russ was saying, it gives us that opportunity now to stretch our legs and to do that, to show the sheer potential of what sequential art can be.
The great thing about what manga does is because of its breadth and depth.
Well, again,
and also the cultural thing. I think we need to see it as a cultural lesson, because we spent time putting comics down and making it out, especially in the UK. It was to be very snobby about it as an art form, instead of saying, yeah, it's okay, everybody should read comics. It's a good thing. And then you get room to grow, you see.
It was literally mandated here in the States with the Comic Code Authority to turn comics into a kiddie literature market, where it wasn't. It was actually an art form. And at the time that the code was invoked, it was turning into an art form.
Yeah.
And the folks knew that, and the folks that really wanted it to stay a kiddie literature, because they were making a lot of money selling books for a dime, decided to enforce that code. They took advantage of the situation, just like every other lousy corporate business would do. Take advantage of a situation and browbeat the art form down into, especially here in the States. But the thing that's really done it over in Japan and Europe and Netherlands, I'm sure in Portugal as well, and all of the other European countries, is they didn't have that code authority out there. And the art form stretched and grew and got older, and it was able to appeal to a wider audience. Where here we were castrated and told that this is your demographic. This is all that wants to read your books. So this is all you need to produce.
We had a woman called Mary Whitehouse when I was little, or at least the hangover from her. And, she wanted to ban Tom and Jerry. And there were people like her as I was growing up. I mean, there was obviously, and there was no doubt there was a misunderstanding of the art form. There was a lot of snobbery around it. I mean, 2000 AD was very much looked down upon. I mean, it was only a little while ago that J.K. Rowling said she would never have Harry Potter in a comic because she didn't think that comics were good for kids to read. And it's like, sorry, you may well be a billion-selling author, but you're wrong. Because I learned to read through comics, and pretty much everyone I know in comics has said something similar. So, and she's obviously had a career. She knows what she's doing. She's an intelligent lady.
But she was also wrong. She was also an old school mom too.
Exactly.
She raised a couple of kids back at a time when comics were considered to be, juvenile delinquency leading kid.
Exactly. So effectively, she's been subject to the propaganda on that.
Yes.
And so but I do think that things have changed. I think she is actually. I think she's allowed to a degree, but just the fact that she felt that way, someone who's obviously more than capable of understanding it, but has been subject to the propaganda, has been taken in by that snobbery. And so we had our environment was more like America than it was like Europe, unfortunately, because comics have done pretty well in France, Belgium, Italy. I think
it's almost like fine art. It's almost like fine art. The respect is up high. If you are a comic
completely different.
Even when you draw female figures, you can show their breasts. There's nothing wrong with that because it's natural. So
nobody in Europe on the continent is going to think that the apocalypse is about to happen because a nipple has been shown. Unlike America, where it seems that as soon as a nipple comes out, that's it. We're all going to hell.
People lose their minds. Yeah. Is that an areola? Holy crap.
Yeah, but the male figures can have big nipples. That's what I don't understand that part.
Well, here in the state, it's okay as long as there's a little bit of material covering, even the slightest. Though you can see through it, you still see that stuff up on Facebook. But heaven forbid, you put it in a funny book and moms lose their mind.
Yeah, or it's okay while they're playing video games and killing everybody in sight.
Yeah, playing
Yeah,
Grand Theft
that's
Auto.
okay. Yeah.
I'm pimping my hoes
Especially when-
online right now. Yeah,
It's okay to kill cops on video games. Yeah.
I got a
Yeah,
huge,
yeah,
I got a
yeah.
huge arsenal, and I go around. Call of Duty. Here we go.
Yes, yeah, I don't know.
It's those evil video games. They all need to be banned.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not really. I'm being sarcastic, folks.
I don't know if let's see.
But all of this is a release, and because we haven't had that release over here, we've had such Puritan standards when it comes to nudity and oh, you can't show a nipple and all of that. Over in Europe or everywhere else, that's just hey, babies hang on that.
Mhm.
It's okay. Everybody sees them. Everybody's gonna see them eventually. If you're not seeing them now, you will soon. So
But
but over here in the States, they're that bright shiny that you all aim for, and nipple.
Yeah, but that was after the silence of the innocent. Or that started before that.
I think we've always had a stick up our ass. It's just Seduction of the Innocent helped that along as far as comics go, because Wortham went through and made bank pointing out all of this stuff. Oh, look at this. This is somebody this is a guy with a young man. That's obviously a homosexual relationship because guys and young men. Woohoo! There's got to be stuff going on. Yeah, that kind of thing. That was. I said this earlier on the shows too. You had Marston had come out with Wonder Woman and was intentionally fetishist oriented and did that on purpose in order to plant that, knowing that he was going to be influencing the youth, especially female readers, giving them a positive female role model. That's why Wonder Woman always lost her powers when she was bound together in the early, if you ever get a chance to see or read the early Marston stories, they are really amazing. And some of them are pretty evergreen because they've got so much fantasy elements in them, but they also have every type of fetish that he could think of. He threw in there babyism, all sorts of S&M bondage, being tied, just everything that you can imagine without actually getting blatant with it. And he knew what he was doing, and Wortham figured out what he was doing. Gaines figured out what the power of comics back when he was printing Wonder Woman. When he sold national periodicals, he did a 180 and went out and created picture stories from the Bible, because he realized that comics, as sequential art in general, could be an incredible educational tool, that you can actually reach young people because of the combination of words and pictures and actually influence people. And that's why he went out and did picture stories from the Bible, and it got reprinted and reprinted and reprinted over here in the States. Like it was the largest reprinted comic ever until 77 Star Wars come out through Marvel, because there were so many editions out. But you can't find any of that now at the shows because it all went through Christian bookstores.
No, okay.
But there is big power in the art form. That.
Mhm.
There's huge power in this art form. And we're just here in the States, we're just starting to wrap our head around it, which is cool. But we wouldn't have done that if Spiegelman hadn't done Mouse, if Eisner hadn't done Contract with God, even if Moore hadn't done Watchmen and had started deconstructing the superhero as a genre. The big problem, like Russ said, is we've taken that to the farthest exaggeration possible and done total deconstructions now, to the point where the fantasy element of the genre is just
It's vanished. Yeah.
Is eroded into nothing.
That's the problem. Is it's like as with any big business, they see a success and it's like, oh well, let's just mirror that success. Let's copy it until it breaks. Unfortunately, it broke.
And again, it's not even like they were that successful, because Watchmen was a hard sell when it first came out.
Yeah.
That was a very difficult book to sell. And a lot of even the socially relevant books that come out in the 60s and 70s were incredibly hard sales. Green Lantern, Green Arrow ended up being canceled because of their social relevance. And the fact that Denny O'Neil, even though it had Denny O'Neil on it, which was a top-notch writer, and it had Neil Adams on it, which was the best of the day. Yeah. I mean, and probably one of the true master in the art form out there working on that title, doing radical things and making phenomenal statements. it didn't sell because it got preachy and started banging people over the head with their political views. So, you know, it took quite a while for Green Lantern to recover after that. Just like they tried to turn Wonder Woman into they tried to take all the fantasy elements out of Wonder Woman, and the sales just went straight to the floor.
Yep.
Variant's handling business right now, so.
Handling his business. I don't want to know about that.
I'm sorry, he's doing business.
Okay.
Not handling his business. That has a whole different connotation over here.
Yeah.
Hail male hose. Heading up a team is like corralling feral cats. Yep.
Yeah, cats. Yeah.
Hanky spanky, I guess. You guys are all going to be the Rolling Stones in a few years. We're already there.
Oh, yeah.
Only I look a lot better than Keith Richards.
Yeah, I don't have rubber lips.
Yeah.
Mind you, I don't have hair either.
And he only works a couple days a year. Come on. Goes out on
me?
a small tour. No, the Rolling Stones. They go out on a tour, and every time they go out, they look more and more dried out. It's like,
Yeah. The exact, dried out. You look at them sometimes, you think they'd really do well if we could just get one of those sprays like you put on a plant and moisturize them a bit.
I have sorry, I was at to answer a phone call. Yeah, they've been working on so many different projects. So
too many.
that was a lot of them coming like right around the same time. So
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yep.
I love getting those phone calls.
What I tell you.
I got I think that with
Pops asks a question: do con promoters separate adult material from all ages as far as table area setup? It all depends upon the convention.
Yeah, at some conventions I've seen them separated.
The better ones do.
Other ones they'll just tell you cover it up, at your table. I've always felt that being next to, like, I'll tell someone if I go, when I go to a con, I sit next to them. I've noticed that if they got like a lot of kids material, like, oh, my book has a severed head on the cover. Do you want me to move, or is that gonna be, because I've had someone get mad at me, like they didn't like the fact that I had my wife and her friends there at the table selling my books. They didn't like that.
That girl's boobies are too big.
Well, yeah. There was a lot of that. There was I remember
you just have her there to sell books. Hey, have you met my wife?
there was a guy who complained to the staff of the convention, and the lady came over laughing to me. She says, the guy came over and he says, your wife, he says, at the time she was my fiance. He says, he can't, he says, come on, it's not fair. I can't compete with fishnets.
Right.
And yeah, that was his thing. He says, he can't compete with fishnets. And I was like, what? So it was.
I would counter that with, you can try.
And they were really upset. They were like, nope.
He didn't even want to try.
Yeah. Go buy some.
Too late. She already looked.
I always hear it whenever we get into those discussions. I always remember back to the Wonder Woman cosplayer that used to walk around at Motor City all the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't a girl. It wasn't a girl.
There's a
and there were a few years that it had turned into that too, where you could let your freak flag fly at the shows, and that has since calmed down too. Also, for the most part.
Another question in from Indie Volt Radio,
but before you jump to that, Pops, I've been to a number of conventions, the better run conventions that I've been to, where that is separated like that. There used to be a Mid Ohio Con that Roger Price used to put on, where he would have an entire room that was just dedicated to adult material, and they checked your ID before you walked in because they knew that some of the covers were too lurid for families to see her that moms would go crazy about, that they warned people before you went in. This is the adult room. You don't come in here unless you're an adult, and you don't come in here unless you want to see adult things and buy adult things. You don't come in.
That's
And I thought that was very classy, actually.
Yeah.
No, I've
It's
not
like
seen
walking
it.
into a video store and having the porn section stuck in the back behind a curtain or a set of double doors, where families know not to let their kids run off.
But I think the whole problem is that we don't have a kind of a rating like games do.
No, yeah,
Because you've got this terrible misconception. All comic books are kids, and then
Yep.
you put stuff in comic books, and it's like making a porn cartoon. Shock, but the cartoon wasn't for kids. Just because it's animated doesn't automatically make it for kids.
Amen.
Just because it's a comic book doesn't automatically make it for kids.
Yeah.
So you've got this terrible, disingenuous environment where nobody quite knows what they should or shouldn't be looking at. So we've never had in any of the conventions I've gone to in the UK or actually in Europe, I've never seen anybody have a place for adult books and kids books. They've all, it's just a convention and they've all just been mixed up. But there's,
but again,
kids shouldn't be running around.
Yeah,
like picking stuff up at random anyways.
That's true.
Make sure and sort your kids out.
You don't have the Victorian standards that we have here, though.
No, but I think it's a good idea. I actually think that what you should do is you should have a rating system.
Yeah.
That people adhere to, like in the games industry, and then it would be very simple. You know that you could just let kids just read whatever they want if it's a certain age bracket. If you're in a convention, put the books that are for adults on the top shelf.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yep, that's a good point. Well, here, most of the conventions here, the books that are on the top shelf are the books that they want you to ask before they bring down anyway, not because of their content, but because of their value.
Yeah. Number one.
But yeah, we used to have a Motor City Comic Con for a little while, had a fantasy aisle where they had the Playboy bunnies and the more underground guys all sectioned off into down an aisle as well.
Adult fantasy.
Yeah. That had stopped too. Well, they had some adult film stars that would also come in as guests, and that has since stopped. So
Zen said, I've been fortunate enough to have completely sold out at every Comic-Con. If some can't sell their products and want to complain, then what they are selling needs to be worked on more, not trying to blame other people. Yeah, there's a lot of that. I mean, people, this shit. I mean, look, there are some valid reasons why it's hard to sell if you're an artist alley. Obviously, con ticket prices are up. But that's because, that's a lot of reason for that is because, some of these celebrities are bringing to get people in the door. They have ridiculous guarantees.
Super ridiculous. Some of them are just outrageous.
Yeah. And I heard of 2 individual writers who tried to get away with asking for guarantees back before the pandemic. And I laughed at it. I thought it was funny because they're indie and they thought they could get. They tried it. Bless their hearts, they tried it. Hey, A for effort, and they were laughed out the room. But
yeah, But then again, I felt that way about autographs for the longest time too, until there's such an industry now in selling a signed book. Neil Adams charging what for an autograph? Why do you want to do that? Well, because over on eBay, they're charging twice as much.
It's Neil Adams as well. I can understand, but yeah, I
Morning, Hex Allen.
Hi, Hex. Yeah, don't know. Difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. The next email is from Jamie.
I've only in my entire life, and I have to think, as far as I know, I've only paid for one autograph in my life. That was Steranko. And when he realized when he realized I was a professional, I could see it on his face. He wasn't going to charge me, but I gave him a sketchbook, and that I had a bunch of autographs in, because I have I have a sketchbook that I have all these guys I really admire signing the front and back covers. So he was looking through that, and he goes, "You want me to? How big of a autograph do you want?" And he saw I had already paid, and I said, "Take a page." So he takes a magic marker. He took a page. Boom.
Nice.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was really, really great of him.
Jamie Grace wrote in. She congratulated us on reaching.
Jamie Grace. That's not in the chat, right?
No, it's Indie
Okay.
Vote Radio.
Cool.
Congratulated us on our 102,000, but it's actually 103,000. Thank you, appreciate it, Jamie. And she asked, how can I grow my network? I'm looking for tips on how to best use my social media. Jamie, I'm not the best person to tell you how. I suck at social media. I'm constantly getting reminded by Meredith and Nita to use more hashtags, and but you can always reach out to people and ask them. I will say this: I was told at one point, you need to put at least, like, depends on what you're doing, but 3 posts on your page a day, minimum. Yeah. 3 posts on your business Facebook page a day. Yeah. That's not including Twitter. That's not including, that's a lot of work. It can be a lot of work. And then I'll tell you this too, Jeremy, make sure that you keep everything, for example, lately, and I think I know why this happened, but lately someone's been trying to get into my Instagram hardcore. I'm talking about they just keep hitting it and they keep requesting a password, and of course it keeps coming back to me like, hey, sorry you're having trouble accessing your Instagram, how can we help? And it's like, no, you can't. That's not me. So I'm going to change the email on my Instagram very soon here, because whoever signed in, they've got my email and they're trying to guess my password, which they'll never guess because it's extremely random. And so, keep that in mind when you're creating your, when you're building out social media. But yeah, you gotta be out there talking to people, resharing. It took us a long
generally taking part.
The big
Being
thing
out
is, just like we've been discussing earlier today, is you can't just spring up and say, I am a podcaster, I am a big network person.
No.
You have to go out there and earn that. You have to go out there and work at it. We've been doing Livewire for over probably 2.5 years now, haven't we?
Yeah, then 2.5 years, and
we've been doing Indie Volt for over 2 years. We've been doing this program for about 2 years, haven't we?
Yeah, Breakfast Buzz started shortly after. You just be consistent. Don't I think what helped us too is those times, having a dedicated time. We just weren't popping up whenever we got a wild hair up our ass. Hey, I feel like the world should hear my voice right now.
Well, we've done that before, though. You've done that before.
Well, I have my personal channel.
Yeah.
But not here on Indie Vote. I don't use it to,
I need a personal channel.
Yeah. Personal channel, just I pop up whenever.
I need to put more stuff up on the Arrow Comics channel. Yeah.
And then
that's what we need. We need a wild hair channel.
There's I think that helped, and I think trying to disseminate information has been good too. It's worked out for us, but
we've been lucky to have that audience because of the internet radio and the reach that we've had and the reception that we've had from people to actually ask us not just horrible trolling questions, but some pretty good serious questions that they really want to know. I gotta write that down. I trademarked that name, Wild Hair.
Oh, cool. There you go.
That's a good funny animal supervillain name. I got it. I got a funny animal superhero team I'm going to do one of these days. The barnyard of justice. It'll be great.
Just like to
Barney,
say
yeah,
though
yeah.
as well, Zing is in the chat. I bumped into Zing quite some time ago. Where is he? There he is. If you want to see an example of someone go out there and get it, there's your man. Just amazing work. I bought one of his books. Absolutely stunning stuff, and he's blazing a trail. He really is.
Good.
So go check him out. Follow him. Just watch what he's doing because he knows what he's doing, and he's doing it right.
And that's really the key in this business, is to go out there and find the people that are doing it right, figure out what they're doing right with it, and apply that to your situation. Don't just follow one person. Though. Don't do that. Go out there and get a variety of people.
Mix it up.
Mix it up really well, because you'd be amazed of what you can apply to your own personal stuff, your own personal work, and to your everything reflects back into your style and your art form, everything that you absorb. So go out there and absorb as much as you can. That's why we all need to get out from underneath our boards every once in a while, take a vacation, go to places, go to museums, go out and experience life, and expand our education, because all that comes back and applies to our art form.
Yeah, I agree.
More than just staring at YouTube for hours.
Well, yeah, and being on YouTube for hours. Man, I'm up there a lot.
It's a different. I think the other thing, and we were talking to some people earlier about getting things done and being successful and making your way in the industry. It is a different industry now. It's not what it was even 10 years ago.
It's an ever-changing industry.
It's totally different, and you just got to apply yourself. You've got to be. Unfortunately, now it's not good enough to be just an artist or just a writer or even just a creator. You've got, and I'm not talking about being an entertainer either. Some people are entertaining, some people aren't. But you've certainly got to be. You've got to apply yourself as a business. And, just be out there, be available. So that people know who you are.
Don't want to cut you off, Russ, but Trico, if you're still listening, the X-Men arcade cabinets are now live. I just reserved mine. So, the X-Men arcade cabinets are now live.
That's the business you were doing off camera.
No. I just got the email and rushed over and reserved mine. So
for all of our listeners, the X-Men arcade cabinet are now live.
They are live. They're not live on arcade.
I haven't seen Varian so excited since he started talking about filing cabinets.
So where are you going to put that?
Well, I'm probably going to go in my
some places. Some places you find places for. Some things you find places.
I got one already. I've got a full size arcade machine as well. It's these are the arcade 1-up machines. I got a full size arcade machine, but the arcade 1-up is smaller. They're these little small machines. They're probably no taller than maybe like 4, maybe 5 foot. And they're these classic games. I got Marvel. No, I get Street Fighter versus X-Men, and I got. I want to get Marvel superheroes. I'm gonna pick up this classic X-Men machine. That'll be about it. I'll sit them.
So when you get enough money, you're gonna open up your own barcade.
No. That sounds like a problem. Well, look, I can go. I can go enjoy those places. I don't think I'd ever want to be
want to run one.
No, that seems like a whole lot of hassle. It's
Trico says I want to get the X-Men cabinet.
Yeah, it's live now.
My full size one, but the pre-orders suck.
Yeah.
You'll be able to pick it up from Walmart before you ever get the pre-order.
That is true. There was a big pre-order problem. Now the machine is $805 with the pre-order and all that good stuff. But that includes shipping. But it's funny, they had some. I think it was Golden Tee and NBA Jam. There was a problem with one of the ships, the containers. It fell. It fell off the ship. Literally fell.
And so you're going to say it got stuck on that Evergreen ship.
No, there are a ton. There's like basically a trailer full of arcade one-up machines in the bottom of the ocean.
Oh,
And,
man.
it's like they fell off the. I remember that was a big thing because they were like that was. I forget which. Like they were like that. They lost a lot of machines in that. It was a couple months ago. I read that. Yeah. Another question here.
Hello, Michelle. Michelle said hello, Randy. Hello, Michelle. Hope you're doing well.
Another question here from, and this one is from.
You have your entire family walking around behind you, don't you? Russ?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's just suddenly it's become the room to be in.
Oh, that's it. This is from Jason.
Piccadilly Circus.
Jason wants to know if Jason wants to know if getting involved in an anthology is a good idea. He has not put out I have not put out my project yet, but was approached to go on an anthology. I don't know if this is a good idea. Are there any red flags or advice you can give me? That's from Jason Wright.
Can I address that?
Sure, you want to go first? Go ahead.
Or you want me to wait? I can wait.
Well, Jason, I'll say this. Anthologies could be a good thing. Just find out. Remember this. Look to see who stands to make the money from the anthology. How if there's a contract, look that over with a fine-tooth comb. If you can afford a lawyer, take it to a lawyer. Have a lawyer look over it, because there are some people who you'll say you'll be in their anthology, and what you find out is that they now think they own your character. They now think they own you. They'll take away your anthology rights. Like, oh, you can't reprint this in any other anthology, or they will believe that they can print it for all time. So you got to look at that, and you got to go in there and look at that contract. Because if it's your first issue too, keep in mind that's someone now who can print your first issue whenever they want, over and over and over and over again. And make sure that you're just bringing your story, because a lot of these people who run anthologies, they don't want to run an anthology. What they want, they'll run an anthology, but it's really a front for something else. Like, hey, let me I want you in my anthology. By the way, you're a super talented artist. I've got these 9 scripts, and it'd be great if you would do one. And you're as pleased as punched and smitten because they told you you're a great artist, and you're like, okay, I'll draw this for you, no problem. What's 20 pages? Keep in mind, you just did free art that they're going to produce over and over and over for the end of time. Russ, you were going to say something?
No.
Oh, okay.
Randy was, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. And then don't forget Marv too. Marv's too quiet.
Yeah, I'm just listening. No, but
to be frank, I'm fed up of hearing him. It's just constant.
Yeah.
He's more awake than on our evening shows when it's like way in the morning his time. So
yeah, what's that all about? Bloody American time.
Exactly. We're so screwed up here.
In my case, it was awesome to be with my first credit is on the Indie Vault Revolt book. So in my case, I worked with people that I trust. So yeah, that's the one. So yeah, choose well your partners and know who you will trust, and from there, everything will be fine. So yeah,
it's that same old thing about whether you should do stuff for no money or not. And sometimes opportunities, sometimes you just have to do stuff and get yourself out there. So as long as you feel like you're not being ripped off. So for instance, the first actual stuff I did out in the open, rather than just illustrating for other people commercially, was for British Showcase, which was for Marcosia. And I did a couple of 5 pages in there. I think there were 5 pages. And I'm on the list for getting funds from it should it ever make any money. But I don't expect to get anything out of it. And it was a way to get some practice, get out there, be published. Marcosia is recognized as a solid graphic novel publisher. And also I met other people that way, and I networked, and I ended up doing graphic novels with them, which I've had some royalties from, which was very nice. Not huge amounts, but it was a start. And then I met other people because of that. and it kind of snowballs. And pretty much like Marv's saying, get on, do it. Don't get messed over. Don't make sure that any contracts are involved. If it's your idea, you own it, and you have a veto on whether it gets printed again anywhere else. If you can write into the contract that it only gets printed that once, that's a good thing. Other than that, just make sure that you're not being screwed over for it. So if you've got an idea for a project, okay. So I put in a war story into Revolt because I trusted, like Marv was saying, I trusted the people around me and I knew what was going on. But I wouldn't have just put that into an unknown. I'd have done something completely original, like a short story, and put it in. If I didn't know the people that were producing the anthology. There you go. There it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So be careful what content you put in there. If you've got something that's precious to you and you see it moving forward, and you're not likely to get any response, any recompense from the anthology, then maybe think of something completely unique rather than a brand or IP.
Randy.
Oh my God. Awesome stuff.
Thank you.
There's pluses and minuses for anthologies. Yeah. Your plus, and it's very important. If you're a writer, it teaches you how to write in a short story format, and you really need to know how to do that. And I am a firm believer that you need to know how to write a short story before you can write a good long story, because it's so easy to get bound up into a mega epic that you go wandering, especially when you first get into comics and you have all these ideas just brimming out of you that you want to get down. Everybody has that mega epic that they want to go out and do these big, wide, spanning stories. But the first book I did was that. It was a big mega epic idea, but we trimmed it down to a collection of short stories called Tales from the Aniverse, and it was about funny animals in a science fiction setting. And we told it from different perspectives, had different types of stories in it, assassin stories. We had a goofy special delivery pilot, bounty hunters, people that ran space stations, all slice of life stuff, all of the varying things. And it enabled not just myself, but the collaborators to get into a short story and do short spurts. It's great practice, and for an artist, it's a great way to play around with different styles and different looks. And before you really go off and do an entire 22 pages or whatever. On the negative side, you can get stuck into a situation if you're not careful, like what Varian was talking about, where you're doing an entire book for somebody for free. That you can expect a lot of money from anthologies, not just because you're in there with a group of other people, but because anthologies are a very hard sell. They don't move that fast or that well, and it's very, very difficult to find really good ones. But they are out there. You just have to keep reading. And again, on the plus side, it gives you that opportunity to get printed, to get out there and be seen in a short spurt, done. I love writing in short story fashion. I do the majority of my comic work like that because it's so enjoyable to do, and because it gives you a short-term goal. Here's a 10-pager, boom, the 10-pager's done. That story is done. It's going to get printed. It's already slotted. It's over. Now on to the next story. And it really will help you with your discipline. Especially when you're at the board. And it's always helpful, especially between large projects, to have a small palate cleanser where you just got done doing 24 pages. It was a big effort. You don't want to slow down. You want to keep your discipline up. You still want to have that time at the board, but you have a little bit of time before your next project. Do a short story. Write your own, figure out your own stuff to do. Don't just do a pinup. Do a short story. That way you can get printed and people will read it and people will see you and people will remember you, because images tend to be fleeting unless you're doing like a variant cover that somebody slabs and sticks in a box somewhere. I recommend people work in as many varying different genres and styles as they can, because they learn so much more when you're testing yourself and trying to step out of your box. So don't just write superhero stories, write a horror short story, write a slice of life story. Do all of these different things, because then it helps you hone the stuff that you really, really love doing. And it helps broaden your horizons. Just like I was saying before, we're going out there and tasting different things and experiencing different things, researching different things. You never know where your experiences are going to take you. So, but yeah, if somebody asked me, should I get involved with an anthology book? Yes, but carefully. Make sure, if you don't know the people, that you have a contract. The Revolt book we did, literally, it's Indie Volt Revolt, because the whole idea behind doing the book come out of this podcast, where we were meeting so many great people with so much phenomenal talent, that just to put everything together into a book would help our reader or our listeners actually see, well, this is Randy's talking. Randy did this story in the book, or here's Marv did the Sin Killer story in the book, or here's Russ did the war story in the book. That way they have an idea of the variety of talent and what we actually can do, and what we might know here on the podcast, so that you can rely on our information for being accurate, and it helps you get to know us a little better. Now that was my whole purpose behind wanting to do the Indie Volt Revolt book in the first place. And we've got some great stories in that book, and I'm doing a Indie Volt Revolt 32-page anthology comic, also kind of like a black and white short story collection that we can have the retailers sell. And I know going in, anthologies don't sell, anthologies don't do that good, but let's see how this one goes. Because here's a wide variety of incredibly professional stories done by people, some you know, some you don't know, most of whom you'll know just by listening to the Indie Volt podcast. So hopefully that'll get out there and maybe have a good run. We'll find out. Varian, are you still there?
I think.
Go ahead, Mark.
I think that the problem with anthologies, I really enjoy anthologies because I can figure it out and understand and study other styles of making art, And what I think the problem is with anthologies, most of them, is the low quality of the art, because you have anthologies, and I saw a few of them, and one have a very good artist in there, well told stories, short stories, but they are the extreme, the completely opposite of that. And I think that's the problem with anthologies. Not only a full book with good quality story and art, and several types of art that can blow our minds, but I think that's why the anthologies are not well quoted in the market. But personally, I do enjoy, because I can learn so much more about everything on making a comic.
Sorry about that, guys. I was
No problem.
getting some information at the.
I thought I would be the one that would be tied up on the phone most of the show.
I've got I've got so much going on, and then people ask me to do other stuff, and I'm like,
you got stuff going on.
Yeah, it's like and then I'm getting information I was asked to get. So anyway,
anything that you want to share with the rest of the class?
No, nothing I can share with the rest of the class. However, though, I would. In relation to what the other young Jamie was asking, Jamie, don't ever get. I know we were talking about Jamie and social media earlier. Something that we tend to do is we tend to get so hung up on numbers. Like I remember when we first started seeing lower or higher numbers, you get really excited, and then you get scared when you see them drop. You're like, oh no, well, we only got like 60,000 people or listening. What did we do wrong? Don't get hung up on numbers. Don't get I wanted to say that earlier. I forgot to mention it. And also, though, while I am on the page, I want to show you guys, remind you of some of IndieVolt's beautiful sponsors who've been sponsoring IndieVolt for the past
few months.
So I'll actually go to the page because I don't go to the IndieVolt page enough, I feel. Let's see here. There we go. Stamps.com, Blick Art Materials, Crayola, and Dr. Strain CBD. Some of our fine sponsors. You go to the page, you can click on those links. A lot of those links will bring you right to pages where they will give you discounts.
That's Dr. Strains, STRAINS.
Dr. Strain CBD
for hemp.
That's right.
Hemp products, CBD products.
That's right. One of our fine sponsors, as well as there's others. There's so many others, but we're really excited to bring them on board too.
That's a cool name. That's a cool name for a dispensary company.
Yeah. There's the Aero Comics 4.0. Go exclusive with Liberty.
Who are those guys? Those cheap bastards.
Yeah, and that just didn't make the rounds here though on IndieVolt.com, which you would expect it to, because Randy's Aero and I'm Liberty, but no nepotism here, because I want to show you guys this.
It's time to get that out there and promote it, because people need to know what Liberty is, and it helps me to help you.
Yeah, there it is right there. Also on Geek Insider, for Aero Comics and Liberty, they wrote a nice article on it as well. Yeah, and they even talk about the IndieVolt Revolt book, which
look at that right off of my kitchen table.
Yeah,
wow,
which IndieVolt didn't talk about. We didn't talk about that.
Somebody knows somebody who knows somebody. Hey,
yeah. They got the information up there. We got J.R. Harris, Randy Zimmerman, Emil Zasco, J.D. Calderon, and many others. They go on to talk about more from Aero Comics, and good stuff. Good stuff there.
It's a lot more coming. A lot more. September is going to be great.
So
can't wait. October is going to be fun.
Just so you guys know, you can go check that out. Those are articles. That's the article on Geek Insider. And then there's also the one on IndieVolt.com. And we'll provide more information as it becomes
becomes available.
Yeah, as it becomes available. Yeah. Jason Moore said
books are at the printer though. Hey, I've always thought anthologies were an excellent and necessary form of comic where beginners can get printed and a taste of what it's like to see your work in print, as well as being a venue for established creators to experiment with something that might not get picked up by a publisher. Caliber presents, Aero Anthology, Dark Horse presents, Cheval Noir. All very important anthology series, also Epic Illustrated, Heavy Metal. The Warren magazines were all anthology books pretty much. There's some really, really solid and really great anthology titles out there that are very high quality material. Cheval Noir. I haven't thought about that book in a long time. That was a good book.
That means dark horse, black horse in French.
Not to mention Negative Burn. We have to put that in there because it ran for as long as it did, and had so many creators in it of quality worth. So we can't leave that out of the mix as well. So hopefully IndieVolt Revolt will be right up there with it. So maybe we'll end up doing another collection eventually of stuff that we'll print in the Revolt that isn't in this book. That'll be fun.
More prints,
more stuff. Let's print more stuff, and I am looking for more stories for Revolt too, by the way.
For the monthly Revolt.
For the monthly Revolt book, yeah.
I use Volt in my Gemini mail order. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Hex. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Hex.
Yeah, those fine folks at Gemini mail will take care of you. And
we should talk about them for a minute too, huh? Throw that up there.
Yeah, there we go.
You go to Gemini Comic Supply for a 10% discount on your Gemini mailers. And Gemini mailers are really the standard here, especially if you have a crowdfunding campaign where you have to ship a lot of things out. You need to get a product that you're going to mail out safely, and that you can have confidence in, that the postman won't totally destroy unless he absolutely feels that he has to. You know, that nothing gets there safer than in a Gemini mailer. Now, if you go over to GeminiComicSupply.com, and as you're checking out, use the code VOLT10, VOLT10, they'll knock 10% off your order for 10% discount on all of your Gemini mailing needs.
That is
So
right.
go over there and check them out.
Yeah, I didn't want to dox myself, but here's a Gemini mailer here.
That's a big one.
No, it's regular size.
Is it?
It's
Oh.
regular size. I'm just a very small person. I'm small and petty.
That's very nice.
Yeah, so nice and rigid. And this one kind of smells odd, though.
Uh-oh, it's got that smell of quality.
No. I was wondering if my dog may have came over here and
Oh, boy.
But yeah, that's there you go. So check those out. Vote
Marking
10.
its territory.
Possibly. I have to check. Now, Randy, while we still got some time, I want to bring up the Sin Killer. Let me bring it up here on Indigo.
Oh,
Look at
thank
that.
you.
Rob's been so patient.
Yeah, I want to.
I haven't seen it in a few hours. I saw it early in the morning and then before lunch. So
Well, you know, they tell you not to look at the page. You know, just kind of set it and forget it. But you are, was it 42% funded? I believe it was. Just saying.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, 42. Yeah.
Yep. 301 of a $711 flexible goal. 42% complete.
On its way.
Yeah, 42. Yeah. Oh boy, this is killing me.
The wife is fine, by the way.
No, great. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good news.
Very good news.
Are you looking to? Are you going to extend this at all, Marv, or are you going to go into demand? What's your plan?
No, I'm not going in demand. I'm already very stressed out right now about the campaign. After the 30 days, I'm going to shut down. I'm going to ship it, and I am already working on the second book when it comes to writing the second draft. And yeah, I want to continue the story. I want to do Michael's and Gabriel's story, and yeah, I'm jumping right now to the next one.
Yeah, it looks like I remember when you were trying to launch it, you run into some issues launching.
Yeah, because in the citizen card and in the driver's license, we don't have our address. So my wife came with the idea of using a letter from the government. They also put that, but I haven't read it. But my wife said you have this, and yeah, that was a good way to enter the campaign, because I wasn't being approved.
So let me make sure I heard that right. Did you say in Portugal they don't put your address on your driver's license?
No, in the driver's license and in the citizen card, we don't have our address. We only have our social number. We have our tax number, and from the one from the health system, the public health system. That's what we have. We don't have our address there.
What's your address on your ID?
On my driving license?
Yeah.
We don't have ID.
Okay.
We don't have citizen ID or anything like that. But we do have driving licenses. No. We have our driving license, which has got, I think it's got my address on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has, because you have to change it. I think that my address might be on my passport. Not sure. I haven't seen a passport in so long.
The weirdest thing, and I'm not sure if it's just here because of if it's just here in Michigan, but we have driver's license and we have state IDs, or and every state has their own ID.
We must
If
have
you
our
move-
papers.
If you move, you're supposed to go get your ID changed at whatever state
Mhm.
that is. But it is also illegal to carry both of them on you at the same time.
To what?
It's illegal to carry your ID and your license at the same time.
We have
Illegal.
to. We have to.
Illegal.
We
There's a
have
law.
to have both.
Yeah, it's illegal to carry both here.
There's a law that says you can't have two pieces of identification in your
Oh, no.
pocket.
Those are considered the same. The same piece. It's just that you can't carry that driver's license, and you shouldn't have a state ID if you have a driver's license, because your driver's license is your state ID.
Yeah.
That sends
Ah.
up a red flag to everybody about fraud, especially voter fraud,
Oh, I see.
which everybody's been very touchy about
Yeah.
since this last election, because there's been so much flack happening.
I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not getting into any kind of politics here. I just don't understand anywhere in the world why you wouldn't have ID to say you are who you are.
It is the dumbest
whatever
thing
you
in the
might
world.
need to do.
I had
straight up, it's insane.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, it's-
every ID that we have has a magnetic strip on the back of it.
Mm.
And whenever you go and vote, they run that strip, so they've got record that
Yeah.
you've been through
it's the
in
dumbest
order to
thing in the
keep
world.
fraud down.
Really?
That's the whole idea behind it.
fairly,
I had
fairly
my-
sensible.
I had my ID, and I was pulled over once, and I think I ran a stop sign or something, and the cop is like, yeah, let me get your ID. And I give him my license. I give him my license, and he looks and he sees in the console of my car is my state ID as well. I just happen to have it in there in the car, and he looks, "That's your state ID?" I'm like, "Yeah." Hey, can I see it, please? And I hand it to him, and he cuts the side off of it. He cuts it in half. Because
You had a driver's license.
yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and the reason why I had the state ID on me was because I had went somewhere, and I had both. I had both just because, and I was young still, so I was like, oh,
Yeah, technically you weren't supposed to have that. Once you get your driver's license, you cut your state ID.
I
Yeah,
think I was like 16 years old.
Yeah.
And it's like, and he cut it, and I'm like, but my state ID.
I'm
now-
disgusted. I think we should de-scissor the police.
These is the police, yeah. I'll tell you something else though, which is really funny. Lola and I, we have this thing where we'll go to a strip club at least once a year. It's usually around the holidays, somewhere between Christmas and somewhere between Thanksgiving and Christmas. We'll go to a strip club, and we walked in this way. And we'll go to like 3 in one night. We walked in this one, and the guy's like, licenses, please. And I give him my license, and I step to the side, and Lola hands him her ID. And he's like, and by the way, Russ, they look identical.
Ah,
The Michigan State license and ID look identical until very recently. Now the IDs go straight up and down,
right.
whereas the licenses go.
the licenses are horizontal.
Yeah.
The state IDs are vertical.
Right.
They
Okay.
used to be exactly the
curve,
same. They used to be exactly the same. But Lola gives the guy her ID, and he's like, "No, I can't let you in, even though she's of age. I can't let you in." And she's like, "Why?" He said, "You need your driver's license." And she said, "What?" He said, "You need a driver's license to get in." She says, "No, it's my ID. I can't drive." "Yeah, I can't let you in. You got to have a license."
Yeah.
And
That's so
I'm like,
stupid.
"What?" And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Wait a minute, she can't get in unless she has a license? Yeah.
You only let drivers in the
Yeah,
strip club.
You only like vehicle
That was
operators in.
that was a bouncer being anal, because he
Well,
was told to
yes.
let him in if they have a license.
Yeah, well, what's
Yeah.
what's funny was that I called back the next morning. I've just because when I get on these when I get pissed about something, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna call. So I call back the next morning, like, hey, what's the problem? I came there with some friends and they couldn't get in because they didn't have licenses. And I kind of exaggerate. I told them that I brought some friends from out of town who were looking for a good time, and they couldn't get in, and they don't even have And the guy was like, "I'm so sorry. Oh no, we told him, make sure the person has a license. We meant identification. Oh my God. Oh, you know what, sir? Please come by the club. I'm gonna give you some free passes." So they gave me like 2 months of free passes, and I went back and got them. So I was going in there. Don't worry, guys. I got covered.
I got free passes.
It was awesome. It was awesome because they were charging a $20 cover for that club. I think I got free passes and $100 worth of free drinks. I'll take it. Take it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just got a call from the Federal Reserve System. They said there's something wrong with my last financial transaction.
So,
Obviously, it was tied into my car warranty. So
Pop sent me
I blocked the number.
I had a number do that to me this week. They were trying to sell me energy efficiency or something. I don't know. You just ask them what your name is. It always works. What's my name? Well, sir, I believe you're the homeowner. Yeah. What's my name? Tell me my name. My name. Click. They always go away as soon as you ask them for your name.
Bob says that's only in Michigan. If police here will throw you in jail if you don't have a form of ID on you.
Yeah.
So if your license was taken, you better have that ticket you were issued or your state ID.
But they throw you in what? They arrest you.
But you don't have your papers.
If you don't have your papers.
Yeah. Now Arizona.
I thought we fought a war against that kind of thing.
Pop sent me his.
Well, theoretically, but nowadays they're even talking about making you have vaccination cards. So
Pop sent me his
Yeah,
ID.
we have it.
It is pretty damn bad. His Arizona ID, which looks like Arizona, they don't put any money into it. This looks like one of the IDs my mother used to have.
looks like a birth certificate.
No, from like the
Don't show it.
no, it's the back. It's
no
the back.
box.
He said I can show the back. That's an old school looking.
That's
wow.
professional right there. Look at that
Wow,
laminated job.
Arizona. You got Arizona. What's going on? We gotta ask Kara what's going on with Arizona's IDs.
Rather nice rounded corners. I was impressed.
Yeah.
At least you know they're saving money.
Yeah, they are. Let me delete that out of here.
They're saving money at the corners. Those sharp corners, they cost a lot of money.
They're cutting corners.
The savings you can make by having rounded corners.
You can't have sharp corners in Arizona.
They're literally cutting corners.
Here in Portugal, we will have to have a card to say that we have the vaccination, because if you want to go to a restaurant or to a bar or whatever, we won't be able to get in.
Z papers.
Yeah, that's what's happening here.
Just get it tattooed on your wrist. That's all.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah,
I'll get a little star badge or something. We'll be fine.
well, see, that's us. That's us now too. On our licenses, we have to have a little red star to show that we're a naturalized American citizen in order to fly.
Okay.
On our licenses, yeah. It's getting worse and worse. The more freedoms you give up, the more they take.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
By the way, what else tell people too?
What?
I want to add something here, and this is gonna make me sound like a prick. Which
you mean more of a prick?
more of a prick than I usually am. But I notice I say this for the end of the show. Okay, so yeah,
do it.
Check it out.
Clint Fleming says a red star sounds like a little like Berlin, 1935. Yes, it does.
So
I was shocked. I have to come back with my birth certificate in order to get a proper and money in order to get a proper star. So
yeah, pay for that star. That star
Mhm.
part, that star treatment.
They
They could
on a
have
sidewalk.
They should have chose something besides a star. Like they could have did anything else. They could have did a moose head.
No, it had to be a star.
Mhm.
Yeah, it had to be a star. Like, do you know what the
Because
star is?
nobody keeps track of history, and everybody wants to point and laugh. The ones that do want to point and laugh.
Yeah. I want to reach out to a company as a sponsor. I want them to
Reach
sponsor.
out.
I want to reach out to them because I love them. They're called ViralStat, and I use ViralStat because ViralStat helps me keep our numbers legitimate when it comes to Facebook viewers, YouTube viewers. They know where to put my ad dollars at should I decide ever to get ads. I don't, but
That's a viral stat.
ViralStat, 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 and they're really, it's a really good service. You can find out where all of your traffic's coming from on your YouTube videos, your Facebook videos, all that good stuff. But it also has another feature. It allows me to be the Black Widow. It allows me to be a spy and look at the numbers of like channels and figure out where their traffic's coming from.
Too bad we can't call that up on Scholastic Books.
Yeah, it doesn't work for, it works for video views.
Okay.
Well, wish it would work for sales. That'd be great. The beauty of it is that it helps me figure out, where what kind of videos we should be making, what videos to, how long people are watching these videos for. Because remember, YouTube will tell you where you're getting. We went up 150 something subscribers this month.
That's because we did that Unearthed special.
Well, there's that, and there's also Lola and Meredith and Nita have been going out putting Indie Volt videos wherever they can.
I was going to say, you know what that means? We need to start doing more 3-hour and 48-minute live streams.
That'll
be great.
Lola's been over on Reddit, which I've always told her to stay away from, but she's been over on Reddit. Meredith and Nita have Nita's cracked the Twitter algorithm.
Doing great work.
Yeah, so much work, so much great work, and I really appreciate them.
But helping Arrow Comics 4.0 out as well.
Yeah, and it's and really, honestly, the Reddit stuff that Lola's doing is crazy, because it's like I've seen so many people start messaging the Indie Volt Facebook now and liking that too. Seeing a lot of turnover, so we are seeing a lot of growth, and I'm very happy about it. But the cool thing about Viral Stat is it helps you keep. It shows you some features that even YouTube won't show you about your own channel. It's also, you could also look at other channels too. So I can go look and see what the dojo's doing. What kind of numbers?
Not a lot.
What kind of numbers Russ is pulling down? I can go see. I can go see it. It's good stuff, but if you're interested in checking your analytics and going deep into your analytics, seeing where people are coming from, what's trending, go ahead and check it out. They put everything up there, so
they let it all hang out.
Let it all hang out, all of it. It's beautiful.
That's an old expression. Anyway,
guys,
for me, that's an old expression.
We're closing on our 2-hour mark. So it's time for us to go. Mr. Marv, where can people find you at? I'm going to put your campaign link in the chat or in the description of the video. But where can they reach out to you at?
We can find me on Facebook and Instagram. You can hashtag the Sin Killer comic book there. And this is what I'm doing for a sticker. I'm thinking about doing this, turning this into a sticker. So I have a couple of drawings that I'm redoing, and I hope to fulfill the campaign and to give as much as I can to the backers. Every backer will have digital drawings, all of them, PDF and physical. So at 25, if I reach 25 backers, there will be another original art at 52, another original art to give to the backers, and to choose a backer. So that's it. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. And thank you so much for having me. And see you next time.
Thanks for coming on, Marv. The link for the Sin Killer comic is in the chat. So go over there and look it over and back it.
Also, I want to show you guys that too. Pops is average Arizona driver license. The important information has been blocked out, but look at that issue date on his driver's license.
It's all that's old information anyway.
February 25th, 1995. The expiration date is 2023. He's still got another 2 years on that license.
Holy
That's
crap.
extreme.
They are really saving money.
Look at how baby young he looks there. Look at him.
That is extreme. Russ, where can our listeners find you at, sir?
You can find me on YouTube as Comic Book Black Belt. I'd just like to say, don't buy my birthday cards. Where you can see me do inking like this. I'll do inking live on a Monday night, or Monday night in the UK, Monday early evening in the US. I'll also be doing more for book 2 of Only Death Can Save Us. You can find out more about Only Death Can Save Us at onlydeathcansavus.com. You can buy the floppies from Arrow. You can also find me at russleach.com, comicbookblackbelt.com. You can find me on Twitter, the Fleecebook Minds, and Instagram. Yeah, I'm over on Instagram. You can follow me there, and I try and put up as much art as possible. So yeah, come find me on Comic Book Black Belt on YouTube, and there's lots of other process videos there as well about how I produce my artwork and comic books. That's about it, really.
And I'll say for Randy, you can find him over at Randy Zim over on Twitter. He's Arrow Comics. He's also got you can catch Randy back here Sunday morning at 9 a.m. for the Sunday Funnies, where it'll be him and a gaggle of other geriatric geeks talking about the yesterday's books. It's called Sunday Funnies, but it gets kind of dark over there. I've been there before listening like this. I thought we're supposed to be having a good time on the show. We're talking about
Daphne said what?
Yeah. They're talking about one artist, and they said he went and hung himself in the park. And it's like, what? Hey, he hung himself in Central Park. He finished his book though. He was never late, except for the day he was late.
Thank you very much. I'm here a week. Try the veal.
Oh my goodness. So that's where you can find Mr. Zimmerman at. And then
what? No,
I was doing your outro for you.
You were?
Yeah.
Arrow 4.0, Arrow Comics 4.0, all over the place.
Yep.
Linktree. You mentioned the Linktree and you mentioned the Facebook.
I didn't mention Linktree.
In August, we're going to have Only Death Can Save Us #1, Luke Stone's Hybrids #1, Indie Volt Revolt #1, and HeroBot Zero #1, hitting the stands. Hopefully hard.
Hitting it hard. Of course,
and then in September, we're going to have Luke Stone's Hybrids #2, Indie Volt Revolt #2, and superhero book I'm writing called Paragon #1. And a fantasy book I'm writing called Calico Shark #1. Also, that's in September. Looking forward to that.
Cool.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. And then, of course, I'm Variant Grant here on social media, on pretty much all social media platforms. Variant Grant, KYD_V on Twitter. Check me out. My personal website is winterweriot.com, indievote.com. Check out the indievoteawards.com as well, so you can get your book. We're getting ready to in August. That closes down. No more submissions in August. You guys got a couple days. I think you got maybe a couple more days now to take advantage of the still low price of the submission.
Do we want to run that? Do we want to run that commercial?
No, it's okay. Right. I'm gonna do a new one. Anyway, so you guys want to get in there and get involved in that and get your book recognized. We got another Laurel pack going out tomorrow afternoon. So anybody who submitted will be getting some laurels. There's submission laurels if you haven't got them already. Then also you can catch me back here. Sunday, not Sunday Funnies. Pitches Be Crazy back this Saturday at 2:30. If you are looking to get yourself on that show, if you're a comic book creator and you want to get on Pitches Be Crazy, here we made it even easier for you. Now let me show you guys. It's even easier than ever before.
If you haven't seen the show, you need to go over there and take a look because it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's even easier to get on now. Just go to indievote.com, go over to where it says more. Right there at the bottom, it'll open up a dialog box. Pitches Be Crazy contestants. You can click there and you can submit your name, your campaign, all that good stuff in there. You have to put your phone number in because we may have to call you just to verify some things. There's your Kickstarter, Indiegogo, whether we went on a program, what platform you're on. We added Zoop because someone said I should add Zoop. URL to the campaign. What? Yeah.
Tomato Zoop.
Yeah.
Zoop.
Yeah. Zoop
rhymes with poop.
Remember, you can win up to $50 or more when you're on Pitches Be Crazy. That's the beauty of it.
What about GoFundMe then?
No. You have to have an active campaign.
Oh,
yeah. So, you had to go over there, and so that's how it's one way to be a contestant on that lovely show we call Pitches Be Crazy.
Zoop got more than one book over there?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure, but they're up there so we don't have to change the application over and over again. Ease. I'm all about making things
no
easier
mention
for
of
me.
Glub either.
No mention.
No.
So, guys, thanks for watching. We will see you back here very shortly. I'll be back Sunday as well for Indievo special issues on Sunday, and that's it for us.
You mentioned Sunday Funnies. Sunday Funnies. Oh, okay. I'll be quiet then.
Yeah.
How dare you?
All right. Good night, everybody.
Tanya.
Shall we go? I'll take us out. You can take us out. I'll take us out.
You can.
I'll take
Have
us
a
out.
good morning, everyone. Remember,
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
yeah, it's horrible. Try to leave this industry a better place than you found it. See you later.
Please. Take care, everyone. Stay healthy.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
Do you draw the Flintstones naked? There's a market for that.
Daphne, do we have something we want to add to this?
Yeah.
Can you hammer a 6-inch spike through a board with your penis?
Not right